Hello and welcome to the beautiful Crossley and Webb dealership in Cape Town City. I am sitting next to one of only 3 Lexus LFAs in South Africa. I'm not allowed to drive it because if I ding it, it has to go back to Japan to be repaired and it's basically priceless. And so I'm going to be sitting next to it for the next while and tell you many interesting things about this incredible car. The Lexus LFA had a really difficult birth. It was championed by a man called Ciro Toyota, who's actually now the president of the Toyota Motor Corporation. But at the time he was at the helm of Lexus and he really wanted a halo model for the brand. But everyone at Toyota basically said, no, it's a waste of money, we can't use the parts again in other models. But he kept chipping away at them and eventually they green-lighted the project. And so in the year 2000 they started developing the LFA completely from scratch. And then in the year 2005, Akira Toyota, who's actually a development driver for the company, decided that the car had to be carbon fiber. And so they scrapped the chassis completely and started all over again, only putting the car on sale in 2010. That's a 10-year research and development period, which makes this one of those rare modern cars where it was not built to a price. This car was built for passion. So here is the startup procedure. That was very exciting. So key in the ignition barrel, some beeps, moves you to your driving position. 1 turn, 2 turns, foot on the brake, double paddle into neutral, the tachometer lights up, and oh, that's very nice. So, if you click over to the left, there are a couple of warning signs. So it says engine warm, no, idling, no. So before I rev it, and they're going to allow me to rev it, I have to wait for that engine warm to change to yes. So bear with me. Let's just wait, let's hang around. So while I'm waiting, let me tell you a few more things about the Lexus LFA. This particular one has 9,867 kilometers on the clock. Oh, there's a plaque which tells you which number this is. This is LFA 134. It's a really crappy plaque though. It looks like, you know, if you had a trophy made for like a 6-year-old's athletic day, that's what it looks like. Engine still not warm. The sun visor has no mirror in it. Oh, the button for the rear wing is up there behind the passenger seat because obviously this was a predominantly left-hand drive car. Is the engine warm? Nope. Okay. Oh, it's idling now. That's changed to yes. Wow, this is the most amount of patience I've had to exercise on a shoot ever. Is it warm yet? No. Losing the will to live. Ah, the engine's warm. It's warm. We have temperature. We have liftoff. Here we go. Can rev it. Wow. I've never heard a car make a noise like that. I think when internal combustion engines are consigned to the history books, this car will be remembered as one of the best sounding cars of all time, without a doubt. Okay, I'm done here. I'm going home, guys. I'm off. I'm good. I'm good. I could actually just never rev a car again and I'd be fine. Oh, my legs. Oh, my pack. This is going well. Okay. Welcome to the part of the video about the engine. Engines are quite important in supercars, so you probably want to know a lot about it. But if you're not a petrol nerd, I suggest skipping this section because it could become really boring. I did warn you. So the code for this engine is the 1LR-GSE. It's a 4.8 litre naturally aspirated V10. There's a lot to go through here. It's on my phone. 412 kilowatts, that equates to 552 bhps, and it has a red line of 9,000 RPM, which is one of the reasons why it sounds so amazing. The angle of the heads is 72 degrees. That feels important. Each cylinder has its own electronically controlled throttle body for better throttle response. There's a dry sump to lower the center of gravity, and the engine is actually mounted behind the front axle, so this is technically a mid-engined car. It only has 480 newtons of torque. Those come in at 6,800 RPM, so you really have to wring this engine's neck. The V10 in here weighs about the same as a V6 engine, which is pretty impressive. And the engine was developed in conjunction with Yamaha and Toyota. I told you that was going to get boring. Good Lord. Lexus only ever made 500 LFAs, and they're never going to make any more, mostly because it was a massive waste of money. They lost money on every single car they sold. They only made 20 a month to make sure that the quality control was as high as possible, and one engineer assembled all 500 engines. In America, you couldn't actually buy one. They sent 150 to the USA, but you could only take one on a 2-year lease scheme, and that was to prevent owners buying them and flipping them for a profit. That caused a little bit of uproar, and so they changed their minds and said, right, you can buy one, but the dealer has to have first right of refusal if you want to sell it back. But in Europe, they were a little bit less strict. Maybe they just trusted Europeans more. But you could only buy one in London. You actually had to fly to Park Lane in London to buy your Lexus LFA, which is probably not an issue if you can afford a Lexus LFA. This is a bit of a dream come true. I mean, ever since I saw this car on Top Gear probably for the first time, I've always wanted to sit inside of one. I mean, I've always wanted to drive one, obviously. Maybe that'll happen one day, but it's very cool in here. I don't know if it's the most exciting supercar interior I've ever been in, but it is very well put together. It is very comfortable, and there is a lot of room. I mean, if I sit in a Gallardo, for instance, it's cramped as hell in there, but there's tons of space in here. Anyone over 6 foot would be comfortable. And there are lots of nice little touches. Like, look at this reverse button over here. So it's a 6-speed sequential box, and to get it into reverse, you have to flick both pedals to get into neutral, then you go into reverse, then you go back to neutral and back into one of the forward drive gears. Over here is Lexus's completely useless human interface system. They've always been so bad at that. It's so weird. They're so good at everything else. But all over the cabin, you're seeing carbon fiber. Even the start button is made out of carbon fiber. The steering wheel is made out of carbon fiber. You can see the exposed carbon fiber on the tub as well, just to remind you of those painful 5 years where they entirely redeveloped the car. Up here are your driving modes. You've got auto, sport, normal, and wet. One of the lovely little touches is the entire rev counter, which moves over to the left and to the right. It actually physically moves over, and the LCD or the LED changes with it. You can even change the color of the rev needle, and the reason why the tachometer is digital is because an analog rev needle wouldn't be able to keep up with the car's engine speed. How cool is that? Another little interesting detail is that the seat belt has two rolly up things, one in the seat and one at your shoulder. So it works a bit differently. The clip doesn't actually move, it's kind of fixed in place. And then you click it in over there. And the reason why this is so thick and padded is because there's actually an airbag in here. That's really cool. It's actually, you know, the more I sit in here and the more I think about it, this is probably one of the coolest supercar interiors I've ever sat in. It's nice. It's really nice. Ah, I'm stuck. Ah, I freaking love this LFA. I just love it. I love everything about it. I love how it sounds. I love how awkward it looks. I love how it's 10 years old, 20 if you count its development time, and it still looks like it's from the future. It still looks like it's going fast even when it's standing still. And for me, the LFA is in the same class as the Bugatti Veyron. It was pretty much the vision and the project of one person. It made absolutely no sense, especially to the accountants at Toyota and Lexus. When it went on sale, it cost 6 times as much as a Nissan GTR, and maybe it was even slower? I don't know, maybe there's a head-to-head race out there somewhere, but this will go down as one of the pinnacles of modern motoring. And right now, you can actually buy this LFA. As of March 2020, it is on sale at Crossley and Webb, and I want to say a huge thank you to them for letting me get up close and personal with the LFA. So if you have a lot of money lying around, this could be yours. And 2 things from me. 1, I'll be very jealous. And 2, please can I drive it? Did you know that we also sell really awesome car-themed merchandise? Check out our range of custom t-shirts and prints at our online store now. Simply click on the square box on your screen and we'll take you there, or the link is in the description below. Thanks for watching.